seconds to start. Well, let the music pop, let all the drama flop. It's all the lies, no seconds to start. My head and it's never ever ending. It was skip the paradise, my piece of heaven. Never giving up, that's what I live by. This is my life until I reach the sky. My soul in this music drop won't fall apart. Went down for the shit to the very start. Haters mad cause I'm poppin', and they just patiently waiting. I'm flying hella high like California. I got a shine, gonna to the game, gonna make it mine. So I gotta stay up on my brain. It's gonna be the liquor, so I can't waste time. Don't count on the rubber, so I let them fly. Thinking about how the world can be a sweet place full of lies. Sometimes I wonder why, but whenever I'm in it, I'm wrapped in mine. I ain't got no patience for no dumb shit. Take a blunt to the face, then I say fuck it. For all my loved ones, I ain't afraid of jumping. You want them bangers, homie, got me jumping. But let the music pop, letting all the drama fly. It's all green lights, no seconds to start. Well, let the music pop, let all the drama fly. It's all green lights, no seconds to start. Holding it down for the ones that keep me right, keeping my game tight, never gonna stop the fight. I just be vibing, I be feeling nice. I'm just trying to live and have the time of my life. This is so cool. She got me flying high. I call her my sailor moon. She calmed me down when I am doing fine. Letting all the drama fly. It's all green lights, no seconds to start. Well, let the music pop, let all the drama flop. It's all green lights, no seconds to start. Now, they gotta take my side, never backing down, so just bring it on. Yeah, this now, I gotta take my side, never backing down, so just bring it on. No time to pause, leaving all my doubts and shots. Yeah, I got the motherfucking key. Slashing all my moms now left. Yes, now they gotta take my side, never backing down, so just bring it on. Yes, now I gotta take my side, never backing down, so just bring it on. How much dollars bamboozled, zero time to waste is crucial. I'm constantly on the move. No matter what, I have to stay cool. Always put in the work till my final duel. I'ma do what I love to do, and that's how I always do. I'ma chill back, vibe and just groove. Ain't a damn thing I now to change my mood. Can't miss now, they gotta take my side, They don't want none of home. He's always rolling. He's never falling. All his friends. Never in my life I ever had to pretend. I don't ever trip, cause it is what it is. Feeling I'm so fly. And then I can touch the sky. That must be this time. Sounds like we're about to have a good night. Living on some minute, got no time for haterade. Never care what a thought I gotta say. I ain't got no time to play. Music high, boom, booming. Vibes had a ride. From the nights to the sunrise. We get outside the box. Like, hey, that's surprise. I ain't got a moment to waste time. I like California cause I let it shine. Goddamn Mumbo, combos all the time.
Love this fucking song, bro. Fucking love that song. But what up, motherfuckers? Don't let everybody else do it. Motherfucking Sanity. Welcome back to Dead Space, motherfuckers. We're making up for some lost content. We're doing it. We're doing things and stuff. We're fucking gaming. I love this fucking song. There's actually lore to this song. The lore goes is RJ fucking flew all the way over here because he lives in Arizona and I live in Minnesota. So fucking he took a flight all the way here. We helped him pay for the flight, and he flew all the way here, and he was like staying for like a week. Master Willie, yeah, nutworthy story. But yeah, RJ spent like a week here. I took like a week off of work, and we all just fucking hung out. We made some content. There's a playlist on YouTube if you want to watch all the content that we did together IRL. I think it's labeled like when RJ came over or some shit like that. But yeah, the fucking that song that we were just jamming out to, fucking we had watched, what was it? I think it was the Sonic 3 movie. Yeah, we watched like the Sonic 3 movie and we got home late at night. And this is the time where we lived in the apartments and we were blasting that song on the speaker in the parking lot and then drawing penises in the snow. But yeah, that's RJ's music. He's linked down in the description down below if you want to go check him out. He makes his own music, writes his own music, records it, edits, all that shit, and he also streams. So he's a busy lad. He makes great content, and all of the music that you hear here is RJ. I got 3 different fucking mixes of his. One of them is a mix here that we're currently listening to. Why wieners? Why not wieners? Why not draw penises? I'm pretty sure we drew boobs and vaginas as well, but, you know, just drawing a whole bunch of genitalia in the parking lot in the place that I live, or used to live. But yeah, I got 3 different playlists. This is labeled RJ Mix. And then I got RJ's slowed down music for like when I'm doing like creepy shit, which I should have done, but I love this mix. And then RJ background music, which is like 2 hours long of just RJ's music. So I play that when I'm like doing... What the fuck are you laughing at? What the fuck are you laughing at, huh? You think it was funny? Whatever. Just kidding. But yeah, motherfucker, we've been busy here over at the HomieBabe HQ. Fucking, what was it? I think it was last Saturday I didn't stream Dead Space because I chose to get a tattoo instead. Aerodactyl is healing up nicely. Looks fucking sick. It itches like a son of a bitch. And then for some reason I got a zit under his fucking wing and I was like, are you fucking serious? So then I smacked the shit out of it. And yeah, so I've been smacking it, I've been itching it, I've been lubing it up. So that's why I didn't stream Dead Space last week. And then Tuesday, I was supposed to stream Pokemon Reborn, but I didn't do that because we were doing other projects down here in the basement. Thanks, man. Thanks, man. I have a total of, fuck, what is it, 24 now? Every time I count, I forget something. And it's like, oh yeah, that's there too. But yeah, so I got another tattoo, and then eventually I want to get Kanto here, and I got 4 or 5 weeks before I go back to work, so I'm probably gonna have to get this done soon. So MrsMaaam, we got work to do. But anyway, so we've been fucking doing projects around the house and shit. So I haven't been able to go live, haven't even really been in VR, or when I am in VR, none of my friends are on, so fucking... I'm just like, alright, whatever, I'm just gonna do my own thing. So I've been playing Battle Glide and fucking dropping knives on bitches. Apparently civilians are immortal, but, you know, thugs and shit like that, they can die. Cops can die. When do I get on? Normally, like, after stream, so... 11 o'clock my time, 11:30 midnight, and then I'll play for like an hour until my headset dies, and then I'm just like, alright, time for bed. Or until I get motion sick and can't do it anymore. So yeah, I've been playing Battle Glide. What else happened? Oh, the downstairs basement here looks pretty fucking sick. You can't really see. But we got different flooring today. But we've been trying to... Oh, in the day, like sometimes 2 o'clock my time, Minnesota time. But that's only when my son is on quiet time and I don't have any other projects going on during the day. So there's a chance that I may or may not be on during the day. I'm a busy lad. I'm a busy dad lad. So yeah. But we're doing projects down here, so just on the other side of this wall, we tried to mount a TV into this wall, and then we found where the stud was, but turns out that the stud is a cement stud. So we can't mount the TV on this wall because the only stud there is concrete. So yeah, we spent so much time trying to figure out how the fuck we were gonna do that, and then didn't even get it to work in the first place. So then we're just like, alright, we're just gonna play the N64 and then see how that goes. And then we plugged in the N64 and then it didn't turn on. And we were like, what the fuck? What is happening? And then we realized that the adapter that we got, because like there's TVs nowadays don't exactly always have the same old school, you know, red, white, and yellow fucking AV cables or whatever the fuck they're called. A lot of TVs don't have those anymore. So we got a different adapter thing, and so it plugs into the N64 and then plugs into an HDMI. But in the middle of it is like a little box thing, and then you can switch it to 4.3 or 16.9 or something like that. And the light didn't turn on, so we were like, what the fuck? Turns out the thing needs to charge. It's an adapter. It's a fucking adapter. Like, when you plug it into something that's powered, it should be powered. It's plugged into the N64, which is plugged into the wall, so that has power. And it's also plugged into the TV, which is also plugged into the wall, so that also has power. So how is there no power getting to this box thing? So that didn't make sense. So we just fucking plugged it into the fucking USB on the side of the TV, and then it worked. But that took us a minute to figure out.
That's what she said.
That is what she said. A whole lot of plugins. A whole lot of plugins. And then, but yeah, and then fucking today we spent fucking all day literally just driving around. First we went to Target and we picked up, what did we pick up? I picked up new N64 controllers because when we did play Smash Bros last night, the fucking joysticks are beat to high hell because I've had this N64 since I was fucking like 5. And I used to play the fuck out of Pokemon Stadium, like those mini games and shit, where you can like, oh, damn it, I almost dropped my vape and cost me into the mic. But like you would have to like flick, giggity. You have to fucking like flick the joystick, and you gotta flick Ekans, or you gotta like harden, giggity, Metapod or Kakuna, all that fucking happy shit. And I just beat the fuck out of my controllers. And then just now when I'm playing, and I was like, damn. Young me just beat the fuck out of these. So we bought different controllers. And then bought some more bedding and shit because we moved a bed down here. We basically made the other side of this wall like a fucking studio apartment room. Like there's a bed down here, a couch, a TV, a fireplace, and then there's a bathroom over there, and then my stream room's in here. So it's basically a studio apartment down here. It's just the only thing, there's like no stove or a sink. Well, I guess there is a sink. You could technically live down here. We got a conventional oven down here too, and a mini fridge. I got a mini fridge back there. Oh man, that's fucking cool. So yeah, technically you could live down here. Yeah, and then we picked up vinyl tiles. We picked up a different carpet. Dude, yeah, don't forget about the house is haunted. That's not even a lie. Like when we look at the baby monitor and we like, you know, check up on the kids that are sleeping, sometimes we'll see a ghost orb flying around. But when the kids are pissed, like if Ezra's in his room and he's like screaming and crying because he's having a rough night, and so sometimes what you gotta do is sometimes you're sitting with him and you're rocking and you're sitting there rocking for but sometimes you're just sitting there rocking for like an hour and a half, and then like no progress is getting done, and he's just sitting there just like fucking with your underwear strap. He's just fucking poking you, whatever. Sometimes you just gotta let him in his room. You just let him be, and then eventually he'll fall asleep. He will. But sometimes when he's like kicking and crying and shit, and he's just fucking freaking out because he wants to, you know, not be sleeping. The ghost orb in his room will start freaking out. Like it will start zooming all over the room, and it's like flies towards the baby monitor camera and shit. And it's like, yeah, I know, I get it, he's pissed, but you know, there's nothing really that I can do. He has to, you know that it's bedtime. It's bedtime. We're done. It's not so bad, but it's kind of hard during daylight savings time because fucking all like. His bedtime is like 6:30, 7 o'clock, and now it's 6:30, 7 o'clock, and it's still fucking daytime out. But yeah, it's, you know, once you get past the daylight savings shit, it's pretty smooth. And then he's going on runs in the morning, and then him and I roughhouse during the day, and then we run around outside and do whatever. But today we did a lot of running around in the car, and then so we got all the way to our destination just to find out that we forgot what we needed. So then we had to drive all the way back home, which is like 20, 30 minutes. And then we had to drive all the way back, barely made it to our appointment, just to find out that the paper that I got in the mail from the people, it wasn't the actual thing. Like, you have to go to the courthouse and you have to have them reprint it with a fucking stamp on it. And you gotta pay $12 to do it. And we're just like, what? Why was this not in the description? So we did all of that for nothing. And then you have to do it in the county that you live in. Like, where we drove was a completely different county, and then apparently you can't do that. So we're just like, alright, whatever. So then we went to Menards and we got vinyl tiles, we got different lights for in there. Because I wanted to find another light like this, because this light in here is an LED fan light. So right now I have the fan on. It's on low, but it feels nice. But yeah, and then I can fucking change the colors and adjust the fan and whatever. And then as we were laying it out, I was just like, that would be sick in here. So then we just grabbed a strip that we cut off, and then I put it in between my two rugs. And then we're just like, we need to do this whole floor like this. It looks pretty fucking sick. Yeah, and then we got a totodile. And we got a sleeping totodile from Target, so that was cool. And then it started downpouring, and then we had to bring all this shit in the fucking rain. It was a whole event. It was a whole event. It was a whole day. But welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Thanks for listening to my TED Talk. Thanks for listening to my spiel. So nice. It's bright out till like 9. Not a fan. I like the dark. Oh yeah, we've been super busy. We've been super busy. And then you guys are gonna come over, and then that's gonna be super sick. And then I think Bro Man is coming over. Fuck, 2 weeks from now, because you guys are coming over this Sunday. And then I think Bro Man's coming over next Sunday. But yeah, you gotta see the basement. It's super fucking cool. It's super sick. Yeah, I like the dark. I like it dark. So I don't really like that it's been getting nighttime later, but oh well. What are we gonna do? And besides, when the sun goes down, that's when I get to have fun. So excited. Super sick. MrsMaaam went to go take a shower, and I think when she comes back down, she's gonna finish like organizing and shit, because she picked out all the bedding, all the pillows, all the extra shit, to make it look snazzy down there. I was just kind of like the muscle. I just got the bed down there and fucking helped move the furnace and then all that. But yeah, it's super sick. I like it. I like it. It's dark and ominous. It's dark and fun down here. But alright. With that being said, welcome back to Dead Space, motherfucker. And that's a demon tooth. Basically, I'm basically playing Minecraft fucking, it's like Minecraft Animal Crossing IRL. That's basically what we're doing. That's what MrsMaaam says that she feels like we're doing every time we do something. She was like, we're basically playing Minecraft. And I was like, yeah, but there's a lot of work that goes into it. But it's fun. It's fun. It's fun doing stuff. Keeping me busy. Oh, that's right. I forgot. Okay, so we last left off. We found some Donkus over here.
Oh, right.
Fucking some Donkus guy. The audio's coming through, right? You guys can hear the game? I fucking hope so. Because the first episode I did of this, there was no like music, or there was like no sound. So I did like 2 hours worth of content that the sound didn't go through. Alright, cool. Thanks, Tarpon Bro. But we found some Donkus guy right here. And he's addicted to birds. He's addicted to fucking birds and shit. Which we also found out that they're immortal. I'm gonna beat the shit out of these birds and nothing happens. So that's cool. Appreciate it, Tarpon Bro. Okay, but yeah. Lock in here. I'm streaming. I'm doing stuff. But yeah, so we left off. We've got holographic lady, birds, found some Donkus, and we had to use his body to get through here. Because I had to scan his body. And that took forever, because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And then our lasers. No, I broke the lasers. Okay, cool. Abuse, yes. I abused the fuck out of those birds. And they can't die, so I can just continue to abuse them for funsies. Okay, and then I basically made it this far, and then I had to get off. So, from here on out, I have no idea what the fuck is about to happen. Cheers, lads. I'm drinking a Pepsi prebiotic cola cherry vanilla with 30 calories. Apparently, it helps clean your gut. Fucking love this shit. It's so good. Okay. Holographic lady over there. I got a feeling like I'm gonna die of death. So make sure my things are all reloaded here. That's a ripper gun, so keep that out for babies, because babies are a thing. Ripper blades. chill the fuck out. Everybody just calm down here, okay? Let's just fucking take a chill pill with the doors, yeah? I don't like how that looks. Sorry I had to leave so soon, but gotta head to bed. Was up very early and gotta work tomorrow. Gross. Love you too, Paige, and I'm sure we'll talk later. Hope you have a great rest of your stream. Thanks, Paige. Hope you have a good, hope you have good sleeps. And I hope you had a good Mother's Day, too. I don't know if you were here on the Mother's Day stream, but I hope you had a good Mother's Day. Anti-personnel system? Whoa, 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 whoa. Uh-oh. Holy shit! Oh my god, no! That's not accurate. I'm pretty sure when you're dead, you're dead. That's good, Paige. I'm glad. Was you what? I'm not sure, Tarpon bro. Not sure, Tarpon bro. Okay, so I was correct. But it was over there, so I gotta be ready. Okay, anti-personnel system. Things are gonna blow up. So keep eyeballs up here. Uh-huh. Oh shit! Get away from me. You are not the babies that I was expecting. Fuck off. Fuck off. Get away from me. Shickos. Thanks. Wow! Hey, get the... Be gone! They fucking explode on impact. Nice. I mean, no, not nice, not the babies. Don't do that to the kids. It's bad. It's wrong. Don't be doing that. Okay, what am I doing here? You want me to go over there? I don't want to. I want to go here. Yes. Abuse. What's this? Oh, fixing stuff? Why is the music so intense? What is happening? Audio log. Oh, a text log. Oh god, I gotta read. Okay, record number 466. I've been trying to stay out of the range of Auntie's interface as much as I can. I don't want to. I don't want to hear her excuse anymore about my transfer request. Every time I ask, I just get computerized bullshit. 23 requests. I put in 23 requests and not one response. I know she's lying. I know she never sent them. I shown Auntie though. I let all my birds out of their cages at lunch. It was beautiful. They were all flying around free and happy. I wish I could be them. Auntie was sprouting regulations and talking about abnormal profiles. I didn't care. I danced with the birds all day. I love my birds. I want to go home. The music's still intense, like I'm supposed to be fighting something. So, I'm slightly concerned here. Okay, well, we'll see what the fuck happens. Shout out to that guy and his birds.
Attention, Watchman-powered billets.
What?
Unauthorized engagement and access lift detected.
Shut up.
Please respond.
No. No, shut up. Go away. You smell like holographic shit. What? Excuse you? Oh, hello. Whoa! Holy damn! Fuck out of here! Be gone. Stomp. Stomp and squish. Okay, but that makes sense as to why the music is still so intense for no reason. Gear change. What's this? Okay, so nothing else here? No secrets? No power nodes? Nothing? Hey, you. Can I get you to fuck off with this? No? An attempt was made. I almost missed out on ammo. I want to miss out on that. Well, this was this would have been helpful. Okay. Stasis. Jesus Christ! That scared the fucking shit out of me. I'm gonna have to change my pants. Well, way to go. Alright, end stream. Bye, guys. There's shit in my pants now. Alright. Going up. Whoa! Fuck out of here! Uh-oh. Can I send it back down? Can I send it back down and squish him? Send him to the squish realm. Shit. Oh shit, you made it up! Oh, damn. How did you get up here? How'd you get up here? Oh. Oh? The fuck was that? Excuse you? Am I piping the fuck down? Thanks. Calm down, big fella. I don't know who pissed in your cornflakes. No, I know. No, I know. That sounds Chinese or Japanese. No, I know. Okay, what are we doing? I got one node. Sure. Well, I do like this gun. I like it a lot. So that way gives me like 3 off the off the rip, something like that. For real, facts. Okay. Rifle has been upgraded. Shit nasty shit, bro. Okay, now what? Oh, that's how you got up, through the fucking window. What kind of dumbass puts a window? Oh. Shut up. Oh, yeah? Whoa, wait, hold on. Normally when my computer makes that sound, I disconnect from OBS. Oh, we're fine. Sorry. That's a foot! Look at that boot. Look at that booty. Nice. What? I'm hearing a lot of static and shit. I don't like that. Did I just see something? What's going on here? What am I hearing? Yeah. Hello? What am I hearing? I'm hearing, like, static and shit. Am I missing something? I'm missing that. Thanks. You Oh. Oh, it's a fan. I was like, what the fuck? Is that an eyeball? Okay, so, like, what's up? I'm hearing static and shit. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, foot. Eat this. Okay, I feel like I need foot again. Or I need something. Oh, foot's still there. Oh, shit, yeah, dude. Nice. What's that? A locker full of nothing? Oh, I've been bamboozled. Oh. Oh, shit. Nice. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Shut up. That was the quickest shut up ever. Take that, nerd. Stupid bitch. Detonator mines. Cool. No. This one. Not a step. Just wanted to see what was gonna happen. Apparently nothing. Okay. I got a node. So I can upgrade something. Might as well upgrade the javelin gun. Or should I upgrade my rig? Javelin gun. Oh, it doesn't even have... Oh. Yeah, sure. It's your fucking... Why not? Sure, fucking why not? You know? Cool. Locked and loaded. My cock is loaded and I'm ready to go. What is this? Is that a head? Ooh. Ugh. Damn, you died fugly. Oh, I decapitated him. Oh, look at that. Let's get a close-up of his bunions. And some nice bunions. 10 out of 10. Probably took it like a champ. Purging life support? Wait. Whoa! Jesus Christ! Fuck off! Okay, Oxygen. Oxygen is depleting. Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh my God! Oh, it's raptors! It's fucking raptors! Get away from me! Oh my God, that scared the living shit out of me. Fucking hate the raptors, dude. I can't hear. You're super scary. I'm sorry, that was probably really loud. Okay, hurry up, fix it. No, that's the wrong one. I'm sorry. This one. And then that one. Okay. Oh, I know, I'm sorry. I said I was cocked and loaded and my cock was Why is it getting so dark? I'm sorry. I know I said I was cocked and ready to go, and I definitely was not. Sorry. That was my fault. That was completely my fault. And blew out everybody's eardrum. I know, Tarpon, bro. That was my bad. I goofed. I got goofed.
Authorized visitor. Mainframe.
Mainframe? What?
Initiating system lockdown.
Wait. What'd you just lock down? What are we locking down?
Lockdown complete.
Thanks. But you could, though. Oh, but but. What? Whoa. Secret.
Unauthorized visitor. Mainframe.
Uh-huh. Wait. Okay, yeah, I get what you want me to do. But what about what I want to do? Cause you know, I have feelings too. I have wants and needs. Okay. Okay, I can do stuff. Oh. That's not what I was expecting to happen. This? Oh, fuck. I hate this. Why is it green? Uh-oh. Fight something! I don't like that the bitch is... Are these traps? What if I step on it? Okay, nothing happens if I step on it. Everything's fine. What? Those are like power thingies.
Unauthorized access to the computer mainframe
Shut up.
is a violation of Titan Station City Code. Replace all access and back away from the fuse board.
Shut up. Just fuck off, okay? Oh. Look at your nugget. Oh, not that. Not that. Give me your face. Whoa. Your face is cool. Here, do you want this? Oh. Well, Merry Christmas and all that. Okay, what am I doing here? Another one's gonna pop out. Just watch. Oh, wait. Is this like a puzzle? Is this a puzzle? Okay, so are these extra ones?
Unauthorized visitor.
Oh, no. Wait a minute. Wait. So there's 4 thingy-majobbers. here. Okay, but why are there patterns? There's patterns. So, okay, so that one on the top left and bottom right are missing. So does that mean it can go in either one of those spots? And then this one can either go... Well, actually no, because it's not like that. Okay, well, just trial and error, I guess.
Unauthorized visitor. Mainframe.
Shut up. You're stupid. Oh, wait, there's only 4 things anyway. Are they out of order? Okay. Oh! Oh, it's right fucking here! Okay, but which way is it, though? Is it like that? Okay, so square thingy. Oh, I almost had it. So square thingy. Oh, sick nasty. Okay. And then diamond. Where's diamond? Diamond.
Unauthorized visitor. Mainframe.
Oh, I almost fucking had it. I'm so smart. What's this? Deactivate? Sure?
Warning. Mainframe electrical shielding has been deactivated. Proceed with caution.
Why? Why? Stomp of death.
Unauthorized visitor. Mainframe.
Wait. Wait, do I have... Wait. Wait. Hold on. Okay, so... Wait. Okay, so... Plus thingy... So the thing is active. Can I do something else now? Okay, cool. Okay, so... this one goes up here. Yep. This goes here.
Unauthorized visitor. Mainframe.
And then square left. Where's square? Where's square? I do have merch. I don't know how shipping and all that works, but like, I've made patches, I've made sweatshirts, I made a tapestry. I can make tapestries. That's like the easiest one to make and the cheapest one. Hats. This is a solid Ixlaya hat. See? And then it's also got it on the back.
Unauthorized visitor. Mainframe.
Yeah, I've made patches that you can iron on. Yeah. It's super simple. You can make it on fucking Amazon. But I don't know how the shipping and all that works. So like what I would do is like we would like probably like message like privately, and then I would need your address, and then I could just ship it to your house. But like I gotta figure out how the payment's gonna work. Like I'd probably like PayPal, but I don't exactly trust PayPal. I don't trust those kinds of things. So that would be something that I would have to try to figure out. Haven't gotten that far yet because nobody's wanted to buy anything.
Visitor. Mainframe.
But I've been giving them out for Christmas and shit. But yeah, my sweatshirts. Do I have one in here? I have my old one, but I don't have my new one in here. Hold on. But yeah, I got sweatshirts and shit. Fucking would have Solid Ixlaya on the sleeve, and then would say Solid Ixlaya on the front of it, and then on the back it would have the logo. This is the old logo. But yeah, this is the new one that I made. This one was made for me. I paid somebody to do this one, and then I made that one. So. But if you want a purge mask of your own self, Just go to like any Halloween store and you just get a purge mask of your own. I got purge masks and shit in here. Right on, right on. Yeah, I gave them out for Christmas, so a couple people at work actually have one. And then my wife has one. My little sister has one. I think my mom has a T-shirt that I made forever ago. And then, yeah, both my sisters have one. My wife has one. I think I made my son a shirt, but that was forever ago. And that was with the old logo, and I don't like it. I like this logo. This one's the shit. And I even put it on a fucking tapestry. How cool is that? Hey, I'm talking here. Yeah, I put it on a tapestry. I should make a rug. Well, I am thinking about maybe like, no, that would just be too much. Too much all over the place.
Unauthorized visitor. Mainframe.
I should see if I can make a stuffed animal. Make a little plushie of myself. That would be fucking awesome. You could cuddle me to sleep. We could cuddle together. And even eat soft tacos. We could eat soft tacos together. Soft tacos and shit. But yeah, I made a patch that you can like iron onto your fucking clothes, and I never put it on any of my clothes. Okay, what am I doing? Oh, wait, I'm playing a game here. Shut up. Oh, reroute? Oh. Where am I going now? Where am I going now? I don't like this. I don't like it here, Captain. This looks like it's gonna zap me. Why? Oh, power node. Thanks.
Unauthorized visitor. Mainframe.
Wait, can I has? My inventory's full. Okay, well, fucking drop these. Oh, drop. Yeah. Give me that. Collect peg. Oh, my inventory's full. Still full. Son of a bitch. Okay, drop that. Give me money. I want fucking money. So I can buy more stuff. Ooh. Shanks? Jesus Christ. Okay, is that all that's here? I don't like that. I don't like that even a little bit. Okay, I'm out of here. Glad I went there. Got 2 power nodes and a peng. And some fucking money. Nice. Okay, so reroute again. And then I'm gonna go back that way. Because you're trying to lock me out of shit for no reason. The only one here? Maybe. I don't know. Charmander likes to lurk. Charmander is one of the moderators. She sends people to the Squish Realm. And gives them Squish Realm tickets. Okay, what am I doing now? Wait, I haven't been in here. Can I go in there? What's in there? Yeah, I haven't been in there yet. Have I? I don't like the techie sounds. But you might be the only one here, Tarpon, bro. And that's okay. Oh, shit. Fuck off me. Just pile all that shit in the corner. Nobody needs it. Nobody wants it.
Unauthorized visitor.
Well, I kind of need that. I kind of need that a little bit. Okay. So, here. First we need upside down pyramid. This one. Upside down pyramid. And then we need Minecraft. And then we need Tetris. And then we need Jabibis. Cool.
Mainframe containment compromised. Security has been notified.
Cry me a river. What? What? There's something on the other side of that door. I watched it. It did a thing. I saw it. Where is it coming from? Where'd it come from, Cotton Eye Joe? Where'd it come from? Where'd it go? Do I have to reroute it anywhere? Is there another reroute fucking point thing? Or is that just for that area? That's fine. That's cool. It's fucking chill, bro. Ooh. There's something on the other side of that wall there, so I don't like this. Just get ready to punch. Get ready to punch whatever the fuck is on the other side of this wall. Alright. Punch and kick. Oh, there it is. Whoa, 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 whoa. Nice. I was so ready.
Mainframe circuits are extremely fragile. Please step away.
Where'd the other guy go?
Damaging the mainframe circuits will cause lapses in programming. For your safety, step away from the circuits.
Don't tell me what to do. You're not my mom. You didn't take away my Xbox and change the Wi-Fi password. So therefore, I don't trust you. What? I heard like gurgles and shit. Definitely was my mom. Okay. Where did some donkus go? There was another body here. I need more monies and shit. Where'd he go? Where's this body? Okay, fine. What am I doing? Am I just standing in here? How long are you gonna stream in your life? I don't know. Online? Offline. 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 Whoops. Chill the fuck out. Offline. Offline. For as long as I feel like. For as long as I physically can.
Lockouts. Offline. Station reverted to manual operation only. Anti.
Bye. Yeah, I know. And I'm only like 24, 25, something like that. I got a lot of life left in me. Play games with the wife, the son, the kids. That's a hand. Yeah, we'll all play Minecraft together when we get older. And then whatever the fuck else. That's locked. And then I can teach my son about Pokemon. I'll have to delete my old save. No, I won't. I'll just buy him another one. I was gonna say I'll delete my old Pokemon save. Woo! Jesus. Hi? Oh. Dead body?
Ellie, I'm on my way to the mirrors now. I have to realign them manually. How's Strauss?
See for yourself. No, I'm not ready for the needle again. You have to let me out. I can't breathe.
Mr. Ross, what's wrong? Ellie!
He's waiting for me.
Uh-oh. Well, oh, it's one of those things. How much... Okay, how much ammo do I have? Wait, I can just check like this. Okay, I only got 9. But I thought this was Strauss. I thought that was what they were about to tell me. Oh, thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Not my best work. What? Yeah, I don't fucking think so. I don't think so. Well, I don't like the little crawly dudes. Nice. Yeah, how about no? Ooh, thanks. Bad shot. Dead shot. Hey! Nice. Can I have box? Thank you. It's dark in here. Is there any more barfer things? Barf lads? Barf lad. I fall asleep. Sorry if you do. It's all good. It's all good. I fall asleep watching me. That's not even a lie. We put the streams on when we're going to sleep. Sometimes. And then I rewatch them at work. Sometimes. So that way I can make clips and shit. Put one earbud in, and whenever I'll pause it, and then whenever we have downtime, I make my clips and shit. I just farted. It was a man fart. I missed. I missed. Oh, I'm in bird room. I'm in bird room. Are they gonna possess the birds? No. Die of death. Oh, fuck off. How about fuck off? Where'd he go? Oh, that was sick. That was sick. Okay, where'd his body go? I want your stuff. Give me your stuff. No, not you. Get out of here. You. Thanks. Any more bodies down there? Oh, there's one down there. Wait, can I have? No, not that couch. Your body. Oh, where'd he go? Oh, wait. Was he in the couch? Did he get launched? Hello? I know I saw it. Fine, whatever. Missed out on some shit. It's fine. Okay. We're gonna save. Make it to a safe place. Okay, we're in chapter 7, so overwrite chapter 2. Are we still in chapter 7? Or do we move on? Hello? Whoa, 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 whoa! Get the fuck off of me! Get off! Get off with your ugly face! Yeah, yeah, stomp him to death. Yes! Oh, yes! Finish him. Oh, he's still alive! Die of death. What is that? What's that? Wait, hold on. Nice. Okay, but yeah, save again. I don't want to do that again. The latest chapter 7. We're still in chapter 7.
Right.
Okay. Any other bodies? Any other bodies that I can see? Is it? Oh, that's the door that I just came in at. Okay. And you want me to go in there? And I can override. Oh, power lock. Use one power node. Yes. Nice. The electrician. Contact beam. So here just lurking and playing Fortnite. Hell yeah, dude. Get some dubs. Get the fucking dubs up. Okay, drop that. Pick up the med pack. Seeker stuff. Text log. Okay, it's a text log. How long is it? They hate me, they all hate me, I can see them all, they're everywhere now, just perched, watching me. Even Auntie. She's just waiting until old Howard Phillips finally goes crazy and snaps. Like he did when he let the birds out, violated all the codes, broke all the rules. I'll show them crazy. I'll show them what it takes to get out of here. They'll have to come up here and clean up all this blood, and then what rules will they make? I'll break those too. I'm going to lay down. I don't feel right. And then he died of death in the room. What's that? Oh, plasma? Full thingies. Okay, I'm in a safe room. I'm gonna rock a quick piss. So here's some clips. I'll be right back. Oh my god. Go away. Oh my god, go away. Child, what have you done? The realm of dreams is forsaken. It can no longer be saved. Uh-oh. Sorry, Cresselia, but darkness is best. Thunderwave. Get dunked on, bitch.
Emma, do that emote. Emma.
Dana. You got robbed. Look at Miku run. Look at Miku run.
Power Rangers, can I be on your team now?
Get over here.
No, I don't want it. Move, Mr.
Sarah. Hold on. I want to look good for what's about to happen. That scared me. I have returned. Oh, that was like 2 years ago. Send them to the squish realm. Get them out of here. Smell like dingleberry butt cheese. Or maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll send them to the squish realm. Can I do that? It'll be my turn. Tarpon Bro, what's my real name? I don't have one. Technically, I don't. What? I'm gonna send them to the squish realm. Nice. I did it. Send a few squish realm tickets. Take that. You can have 6 of them. Have fun. But yeah, technically I don't have a real name because nobody ever uses it. So to my little sister, I'm Bro Dudes Man. To my wife, I'm MrsMaaam. To all of my friends on stream, I'm either Slaya or Mr. Ig or Mr. Dr. Professor Stretch Nuts or dude or guy. Bro. I'm never my actual name. My friend from VR chat sent me a message saying, I lie above them all, and it's a picture of them hovering in Among Us. And I was like, you are a god of Among Us. Cicada. Cicada is my mute friend. They don't talk. They only text or use sign language. So we play Among Us, and then, yeah, whenever we're chit-chatting and shit, it's just all texting. Well, she texts, I message, I talk, and then like when, and then when whenever something's going on and she's like trying to tell people shit, I'm just like outwardly just telling the whole fucking lobby everything. I'm basically her voice, but like times 10 because I'm always loud. All right, back to the game. Shout out to the skeleton. Okay, but I need a bench. My inventory's full. Okay, save one more time. Because now I picked up a bunch of shit. Okay. Alright, where am I going? Back that way. Oh, I suppose you want me to override something. Oh, what? Oh. Please nothing sneak up from behind and clap my cheeks. Oh no, I'm not vulnerable or anything. Oh, geez, that would be awful. Yeah, we're fine. Never been better. What do you mean, what the fuck, Tarbin, bro? What do you mean? I didn't do anything. But I don't like this. I don't like it. Don't zap. Don't zap. Okay. I'm taking out my ripper. Ah! Ah! Her face was fucking ugly. Was that my girlfriend or something? This guy's got bad taste. I don't like it any. I don't like it. I don't like it, boss. I don't like it, Captain. We're going up? No, my wife is hot. And she's upstairs. Hot, beautiful, and sexy. Objective complete. What did I do? I went up. Objective added? What am I doing? Why? I don't like it. Nothing's aligned. Sounds like I'm gonna align shit in space. Okay, here I go. What? What? Oh. Oh, what the fuck? O2 stations. Okay, go. O2 stations. What am I doing? What am I doing? What?
Ellie, it looks like 2 of the mirrors are out of alignment. How's he doing?
He's stopped hyperventilating, but I don't know how much longer he's gonna last. I knew he would just slow me down.
If Strauss dies, so do my chances of destroying the marker. Keep him alive and get to that panel.
Oh, am I putting it here? Yes. That's what I'm doing. Gotcha. Okay.
All right, Ellie, one down.
I'm gonna fight stuff. I'm
Try
gonna...
and roll back the cover now. Strauss, can you give me a hand with this?
Oh, he'll hurt me. I'm not strong enough.
I promise. I'll
Don't
just
hurry
touch
me,
you.
I'm not
Just
strong enough.
over here
What
and
a
yeah.
big old baby. What?
Something covering the collector panel.
Whoa! What the fuck?
There's thousands of them. They're breaking apart.
Ellie, get out of there.
Oh my God, they're heading this way. Run, Strauss, run!
Ellie, come in.
No, I've never played Ratchet and Clank. But oh, oh, it shadowed things. Oh, it shadowed things. Oh, Jesus. Okay, get rid of them. Get rid of them. Oh God. Ouchies, big ouchies. Oh damn, ×2. Ouchies behind ×3. Yeah, yeah. Take that. Take that. Dodge him. Bob and weave, bob and weave. Okay, I need oxygen. Oxygen, please. I'm scared. I know I have 100, but I don't want to get that low. Come on. Gimme, 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 gimme. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Nice. No, give me the thing. Give me the... Thank you. Land. Where'd it go? Where'd it... Pipe down. Where'd it go? Oh, what the f... Get back down here! Oh, no, no, that was a grenade! Give me... Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, ox wedge in. Okay, so shit's getting launched all over the fucking place. Give me that. Give me this. What else got launched? Something else got launched. I saw it. I peeped it with my fucking eyeball. It's so quiet in here. Did it get sent out into the ether? Oh, it's right here. Okay, where am I going? There's more stuff. Give me stuff. Look at all this stuff. It's freakishly quiet here and I don't like it. Did I pick them both up? Sick. More stuff. There's oxygen there. Calm down. Who hurt you? Ice. I need all the money that I can get because I can almost promise you that the new suit that I'm gonna get is gonna be mad expensive. Okay, is that all the stuff? Looks like it. Where am I going? Looks like I don't even fucking know. My beacon beam thing doesn't even know. Am I going up? Nope, not up there. Over there? Here? Why? Oh. Duh. The thing I'm supposed to be doing. Also, what Jesus? What happened? What'd I miss? Nice. Powered up. Witnessing greatness. Oh man, that's bright.
Isaac!
Ellie! Ellie! You all
Hello?
We just made it to the crossover tube when the beam hit. Isaac, those things are still heading towards the transport hub. They're wrecking everything in their path.
right?
Transport hub?
Stuff. Get to the hub. I'll meet you as soon as I can.
Okay, where am I going? What? Up there? For why? What's my oxygen? Do I not have an oxygen tank anymore? Am I good? Am I chilling? Am I going up here? It looks like it said it was going up here. Not active. What? What do you mean? I feel like I need oxygen. What am I doing? Oh, in here? No, get in here. Okay, I'm in. Nice. Aligned, aligned. Everything's good.
Ellie, come in.
Isaac, we have to cross to the government sector before they cut us off. You'll never make it down here in
I'll be
time.
there. I'll be there.
Uh-oh. This ain't looking too good, Captain. This looks like Saints Row 4. What am I doing? What am I doing? Oh. I don't wanna close my eyes. I don't wanna fall asleep 'cause I miss you, babe. And I don't wanna miss a thing. 'Cause even when I dream of you, the sweetest dream will never do. I still miss you, babe. And I don't wanna miss a thing. Oh. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. I'm sorry. I didn't know where I was supposed to go. It was my fault. I'm having a whole moment. A Saints Row 4 moment. I will play that game eventually. Alright, part 2. I don't wanna close my eyes. I don't wanna fall asleep 'cause I miss you, babe. And I don't wanna miss a thing. 'Cause even when I dream of you, the sweetest dream will never do. I still miss you, babe. And I don't wanna miss a thing. I wonder if this is where Saints Row got that idea from. Because this is in Saints Row 4. I wonder if this is how they got the ideas from this game. Uh-oh. Oh, we're Iron Man. Oh, I'm in the ground. I clipped into the ground. Hello? Where the fuck am I? Am I back in... Oh no, don't tell me I'm back here. Okay. Can I have a thing, please? I need a bench. I need a thing. My inventory is too full for this. Yeah, it is an Aerosmith song. Yeah, that's right. I forgot that that's who it's by. Such a good song. Oops. Okay, I don't think I need this many Ripper Blades. Maybe. I don't know. I do need health. Armor is at 10%. Oh, my armor is buns. I'm running through this whole thing. Yeah, I don't need this many Ripper Blades. Absolutely not. Give me more of these. It's more Ripper Blades. I don't need those. Is there any secrets in here? Cool. Okay, fine. Jesus Christ. Money. Okay, what is screaming?
Ellie, where are you?
Right outside. Hurry!
Oh, this door. Hey, wait, hold on. Everybody hold the fucking hold the phone. Contact beam. Nice. Inventory. Am I supposed to sell that? There's always paying. Yep. Totally sure. Totally sure. Totally sure. Oh, another gun. Contact beam. Heavy damage, energy protector. Pull and hold for a charge. High intense blast, then release. For how much? 9 grand? Not too bad, not too bad. Not too bad. Fire blast. Oh, it said fire blast. My weapon slot is full. Get rid of the Ripper. Get rid of this fucking piece of junk. Move. 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 Give me that. It said fire blast. I like Pokemon. I don't know what kind of things it takes. A couple no's, cashier. That's 3. And a couple of dams. I feel like I'm gonna need it. Should I just sell the Ripper? Should I sell it? Your rig retains... Oh, yeah, my current rig. Okay, is there a bench? No? Okay. More money. How's my inventory? Still... It's not bad. I'll take it. This seems like endgame stuff. Am I about to beat the game? It's only 10 o'clock. What am I gonna do? I thought I had like another suit to get. This looks like a boss battle type shit right here. Okay, hold the fucking phone. And I have charge beam now, right? That's what I got. I only have 4 ammos for it. No, not that. Give me this. Can I has? Can I has? Can I has? Thanks.
This way. The train is this way.
Okay, well.
Are you crazy?
Yeah. I can't really see what's going on, Captain. Oh, I should have kept the Ripper blade. Whoa, wait. More, there's more of them. Rapid fire. Stomp. Stomp.
Isaac, I'll try to open the CEC door on your level.
Ah, wait.
Hold on.
I need oxygen.
Look, I'm giving it my codes, but it's not working.
I can't aim. Everything, put a halt to what you're doing.
Yes, I'm authorized for this. Open up, you bastard!
Fuck. Get out of here, barf. Halt.
There, it's open.
Fucking halt.
Isaac, go! Go, Isaac! You can't stop them all!
Where am I going? Oh, shit. My bad. I'm glad I bought health. Wait, hold on, wait. Uh-oh. Gotta run. Run. Cool. That was slightly intense. I could use more ammo now. Oh, shit.
Ellie, you guys there? Did you make it?
Shit, Isaac. Just... Shit.
Watch your mouth.
Take it easy. It's okay.
No, it's not. I was right here this morning with a crew of 30 people. But we were overrun.
Oh no.
And before I knew it, they transformed. I had to cut the arms and legs off my friends just to escape.
That's fucked.
I'm sure there's pieces of them still lying around here somewhere.
Ellie, I know. I'm sorry.
And here I am again. I've just walked one big fucking circle today.
You do be like that.
Let's figure out how to meet up.
Right. There's a central hub in the main facility. Here are the coordinates.
Thank you. What did I just stomp? Oh, I stomped on. No, that's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Oh, your face got all sorts of squished. There's a floor down there? Oh, there is a floor down there. Any secrets? Secrets anywhere? The buzzing's kind of loud. Turn it down a little bit. I hear voices. Hey, another store! Nice. I don't like how many bodies are in here. Slightly losing it. Get it together. Secret tunnel! Secret tunnel! Yeah, that was a pretty secret tunnel. Ooh, see, audio log. Cool.
This is Caleb, xenogeologist from Langford Shift 1. There's something in the facility. We lost 3 of our crew and can't contact Shift 4.
Here comes the transport. Everybody get ready in case there's more.
We're abandoning our shift and heading back up. Everyone else is ordered to do the same.
Caleb, it's more of them. Shoot them! Shoot them!
It's kind of crazy how all this, basically the audio log and all that, is basically happening at the same time that I'm doing all of this. Still not a new suit? Okay. Buy some more of those. And then I need, okay, what ammo do I need? What more ammo do I need? I need nails and seeker. Nails and seeker. Fuck, I just used another med. God damn it. Okay, so I need nails. And I can't build seeker. Okay. So I'm using stasis more. Because it's becoming, I have a lot of rain. I think I might need the Ripper back. Actually. Okay, inventory. Put the nail away. I know, I just spent a bunch of money on nails. But I think I actually need the Ripper. Yeah, I think I need the Ripper because if they're gonna throw a lot more shit at me, I'm gonna need something close range so I can just rip through them. I think the Ripper is gonna be what I need right now. I should buy a couple nodes, upgrade the Ripper if that's... Oh, I can't. Okay, that's fine. It's cool. Okay. Locked, unlocked. You want me to go in there, so I'm gonna go in here. Or is this where I just came from? That's where I just came from. Okay. Moving on. I'm gonna bring you in here. And I'm gonna bring you in there too. Because if whatever's gonna attack me, I want to attack me. Because I got a feeling like the winged things are gonna be out. I need meds more than anything. What? 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 I'm hearing shit. Nice. Had a feeling. What's that? Is that money? I don't know what that was. It's stasis. Okay, the world may never know. It's fine. Okay. Ooh, shinies. Inventory's full. Vintage suit. I need that vintage suit. Give me that. Give me the vintage suit. Wait, the fuck? Thank you. Okay. We're gonna go back to the shop. We can get a new suit. Vintage suit. So, vintage suit is Dead Space 1 suit? We're gonna look OG? I don't think I saved either. Vintage suit. 40 grand? Ah, that's quite expensive. Oh, we can sell the nail gun. I mean, we're not using it. And the plasma. Worth. Fresh new suit, baby. Suit up, Spider-Man. Suit up, Spider-Man. Cool. You look kind of like a dingus, but won't say nothing. Yep. Looks pretty fucking cool. MrsMaaam, what are you doing over there? I'm gonna go talk to my wife for a second. Here's some clips. mouth.
No, but
What?
you went. How's my clammy, wet, cold hands?
That was my gamer sweaty hands. Sweaty gamer piss hands.
Piss hands?
Yeah.
I knew you didn't wash your hands.
I don't got soap down here. You didn't wash your hands either. That's how I know you didn't wash your hands, because there's no soap down here.
Hold on, my ear itches.
Way to change the subject. Furious wipes. Everything's just a Pokemon reference. Back up. Eat it. Dude, fucking made that.
Like, you thought you could get away from me. Uh-huh. Where is it?
It's right there.
Oh, here it comes.
Here comes a comment. Whoa!
Jesus.
Well.
That comment was like, you thought you could get away.
Yeah.
These are flowers. Open eye blossom?
Open eye blossoms.
That's what they're called. Ah! Oh my god, there's a ton of skelliemons. Oh shit. What?
Oh, that's what it looks like! That's what it looks like! Oh, I found it!
Oh my god.
Okay.
Hold on.
Uh-oh,
There
here.
are so many things coming after me right now.
I wanted to make the ghost extra mad.
Bones,
Oh,
bones,
what did
bones.
you get, Carson?
Oh, you fuck! Oh my god!
Oh, I didn't mean to hold me, hold me.
I'm in the shower.
I didn't mean it. I didn't mean a ghost. I didn't mean it. You heard me call it a pussy, Mr. Egg.
We'll be okay. Okay, I think we're okay. Let's get out of here. Oh my god, yeah, it did not like that. We're good. We were holding each other in the shower.
Don't pick it up and don't play it. So I'll get the camera. Let me just put the thermometer down.
Pick it up and play it!
No, honey, the ghost will kill us.
Don't do it.
Pick it up and play it!
Don't ask me twice.
RJ, no. RJ, no. RJ, no. RJ, no. RJ. RJ.
I always loved you guys, you know?
RJ. I don't want to get caught in the sus crossfire. I don't want to get caught in the sus crossfire. RJ.
Alright.
Thank you, thank
Put
you.
it down.
Later on in the hunt, if we're still alive, then you can do it. But right now, let's just cover some bases first.
Okay.
Deal?
Deal.
Okay. Don't worry, homie. I won't kill all your fun. Yeah. Oh, Jesus fuck! Oh my god! Oh! Holy shit! Oh, that hurt my neck! Oh my god! Oh! Oh! That was super duper bad. I have returned. That other room looks pretty fucking cool. Okay. Back to what we were doing. Okay. Purchase guarantees your rig retains the highest upgrade of armor and inventory. So our inventory has also been upgraded? What's our inventory? Thank you. Have a nice day. Oh, look at that. That's so much inventory. The suit is so bulky. We can hold so much more shit. Nice. Cool. Okay. Just moving on. Tonk. I'll be damned if his fucking nugget broke the glass. Whoa, Jesus! Hello. Fuck. Where'd you even come from? Jesus. Give me all your fucking money. Oh, we're really running out of ammo and stuff. We'll be fine. Audio log. Oh. Sorensen.
It's Caleb. Shift 1. You guys better be right behind us. We're leaving a swarm of angry dead body parts behind us.
Caleb, come on! More are moving in ahead of us. I can see them!
Everyone move it! Go, go, go!
Oh shit. Sounds like they didn't make it. Ah? Ah? What screamed? Is it a raptor? What went ah? What went ah? Jesus. No, you won't. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. Thanks. Anything else? No? Okay. That's not good. This looks vaguely familiar. Fart gas?
Over here. The door is jammed.
Of course it is.
This must have been the last stand for whoever was left down here.
Can you get the door open on your end?
No. The circuits are fried. They must have fused the panel trying to keep those things out.
Hi, buddy.
There's gotta be another way in.
The only other way is through the processing plant. But it's not meant for human traffic. Step 4. I think I can stop it from here, though.
All right, do it.
The steps. He wants me to follow the steps.
Hold it together, Strauss. I'll be there soon.
You got it, Strauss. I believe in you. You'll be alright. With Temple Run Lady. She'll keep you safe. I believe in Strauss. He's gonna get us out of here for sure. detonator mines. Okay. Oh, but Jesus Christ. Oh, this place is going mad. This place is not happy, man. Yep, barf man, barf man, barf man, barf man. Fuck. Oh, I thought it was Arc Raiders. I just tried to dodge and roll. Okay, bench. Okay, Ripper has nothing, so we'll do more damage, capacity. And then rig. Next we'll go in HP. I forget I have stasis. I always forget I have stasis. Okay, let's get the fuck out of here. It's loud as shit. Okay. Any shinies before anything starts going bad?
I think I've hit a dead end. Looks like some kind of venting system up ahead.
Right. Manually shutting down the plant froze all the pressure valves in place. You'll need to find a way to force it open.
I punched it. So, do I have to... Oh. Why is there fire? Is it gonna explode? What? Use kinesis to attach thrusters to objects. Like what? Tonk tonk. Like what? What do I attach it to? Because that's where I... Oh, Jesus. Now I'm all disoriented. Hold on. Okay. Is there another one of these things? Oh, now there's two of them. Is there something in here? Oh. Okay, what's about to come out? Okay. And now what? I'm all disoriented. Oh, Oh my god. Where am I? This is ground. No, it's not. Where did I just come from? Oh, up there. Okay, so I just came from here. And now I'm in here.
There you are. I see your friend has powered off the facility. Remind me to thank her for providing me with your location. I've locked the processing cycle on, and you in with it. It ends here, Clark.
It doesn't have to be this way, Titan.
It does, and it is. Goodbye, Clark.
What? What? Oh, I gotta get through there. Whew. Oh, hello. Okay. I see what's happening. Okay. Gotcha. Multiple babies. Take that. Am I just clear to go?
Ellie, can't you shut these things off?
No. Somehow Tideman declared me dead in the system. Now my codes don't work anymore.
They're kidding.
Oh shit. Something's coming. Strauss!
No.
Help me with the door.
I need you to see him. I need you to follow the steps.
What? No, just shut up and help me. God damn it!
Aw, Strauss. I had faith in you. Okay, go a little bit faster. Go a little bit faster. A little bit faster. Go, 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 go. Okay, now where? In here? More babies? Nice. Where's the other baby? There it is. Nice. Okay, okay. And then I need this thing. Attach it to here. Gotta go. Motherfucker, excuse me? Oh, you, okay. Whoops. What's this? What do I attach this to? What do I attach this to? Or wait, oh shit, wait, hold on. So like this? No, not like that? Oh, like this. Got it, got it, got it, got it. Yep. Okay.
Are you guys okay?
Hey, Strauss is alive!
Step 3, Ellie. Jump! Through the door!
I'm off. I think I'm close.
Okay, here I go. Through the door. Just making sure there's nothing else. Gotta make sure. Oh, pretty door. What? Wait, this is the room that they were just in. Yeah, I was just on the other side of that door. Oh, what the fuck? What? My bros better be okay. Gun down. Gun down.
Glad to see you've got all your parts.
You alright?
Giggity?
Yeah.
There are 4 steps.
No thanks to Twitchy here.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Shout out to Twitch.
Jesus, Strauss. You okay?
It's getting worse.
What is step 4? Who will be waiting? If the screws. If the needle.
Master Raider?
He'll be waiting. He's not gonna make it.
Oh, what up, Master Raider?
Runs on the same spoke as the commuter train.
How you doing, dude?
Government sector.
3 more weeks. Wait,
One of us will have to deploy it
I
from
think
the warehouse.
3 or 4 more weeks. Then I come back.
Stay
Pretty
here
soon.
and, I'll try to
Pretty
see more
soon.
speed. She'll be waiting.
Do you miss me? I miss you. I'm not gonna lie. We've been listening to a lot of Architects. And my son is in love with Dead Butterflies and Doomsday by Architects. And every time we listen to it, I'm thinking of you. I'm ready to come back to work. I've been working out when I can. Been keeping my wife has been keeping me busy. Large med pack. Oh, I need that. Drop that. Not using that. But yeah, wait, what day is it today? Today is the 14th. Today is the 14th. Let's see. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3. 3 more weeks. Yeah, I heard Alec and Mike put in their 2 weeks. It's like, what the fuck? So who's your other guy? Well, technically, who's your other 2 guys, I guess? Because I'm not there at the moment. Oh, I'm on chapter 8. Nice. But yeah, 3 more weeks. I come back on the 4th week. 3 more garbage days. Yeah, they want me to go this way. There's nothing else? Okay. Well, I don't know if you can actually say names. I don't know. I think we'll be fine. Chapter 9. We're on chapter 9 now. I just saw it on the bottom right. That was the first time I've noticed it. So how many chapters are there? 10? Be my guess. They're in the fucking walls. They're dropping from the ceilings and shit. Alex and Steve. I don't know who Steve is. Philip and Ian. Oh, did what's her face? Sarah? Did Sarah quit too? I don't know who Philip is. Wait, line gun. Why do I have line guns? I don't need that. I do need these. Must be new guys? New peeps? Yikes. Big yikers. Oh, and Master Raider, I've been getting a bunch of new ink. But yeah, I figured with my time off, I got a bunch of healing I can do. So I might as well get some ink. But yeah, we got a bunch of shit done around the backyard. I planted a couple trees, put up a shed. What else did we do? Made the basement here look super sick. And then in the meantime, I'm also barf. Nice. But yeah, what was I saying? I was saying something. Doing projects, backyard looks pretty dope, basement here looks pretty sick. And then with all my healing, or like, you know, since I'm being home, I've been getting tattoos. What else? Working out when I can. Oh, and then my own projects is I'm trying to beat Dead Space. Trying to beat that. And then playing Pokemon. Those are my personal projects. Trying to beat some games. I cannot hold that ammo. Detonator. I need a. Oh, I need that. Okay, now pick up stuff. Bodies. Bodies. And bodies. Okay. And then did I pick up lines? Not like that. Move. Sell. And then sell. Move. Move. Okay, and then I'm good. Wait, am I good? No, I'm good. Is the... Oh, gotcha, gotcha. Steve is who is usually on the 370 with Alex. Steve. Steve. $370 with Alex. I'm drawing a blank. Because normally, maybe I didn't see him because the only time that I've ever seen Alex on the 370 was when you and I were up there doing sleds and shit. Because the 370 is that smaller machine, right? The one where we were on that with Alex doing sleds because the 430 was shut down. This is probably why I don't remember. Jesus. Ugh. That was rough. I was wondering if that guy had any significance. This guy. Because he was in, like, a suit thing. What the fuck is that? What is that? Is that a lever? I can go down there. Okay. Cool. It's gonna bug me. I can't remember who Steve is. I'm thinking of the 330. Oh, okay. The 370 is right by the 330 in the middle of the building. Huh? I thought that was the H100. Or are they the same thing? .370 is right by it. Or is it the one that Sean is always on? Jesus Christ. I don't really know my machines because I'm only like ever at the 430. Unless they put us somewhere else for different reasons. Like the 430 getting shut down, so I don't really know my machines. I know the 550, both of them. And then the 430, H100. So I guess the only other two machines that I don't know of is the ones on the opposite, the farthest end of the building from the 430. On the complete other side. I don't know those ones. H100 is on the other side of the 370. I'm so confused. So I'm thinking of the 330, that small one. The 370 is right by the 330 in the middle of the building. The H100 is on the other side of the 370. John is on the 400. I'm missing a whole machine? There's a whole machine that I'm not aware of? The 330 I'm thinking of the 330, which is the small one. The 370 is right by the 330. And if you're talking about the middle one, this is the H100. And then there's the 400. There's a whole machine that I don't know about. Wait, what? What am I... Where is it? I'm so confused. The 400 is the one right across from the 330. The 400 is right across from the 330. The 370 is by the 330, but it's in the middle. But the H100 is also in the middle. Oh, oh, the one with the ramp. I got it. I was a trimmer there. Yes. I got it. Yes. I understand. It's the one over by the tough tanks. Got it. Red slide. Got it. It took me a minute, but I got it. I forget that one's there because it's basically also a storage room. It's a storage room. Fucking yeah. Okay. I got it. Okay. And then Steve is normally up there. Okay, and I think I know who Steve is. He's the one with the glasses. He's he's a pretty chill guy. He's got glasses. Wait, what am I doing? Isn't this where I came from? Now I'm all confused. Yes. I got it. I know now. I'm aware. Oh, MrsMaaam's doing stuff. Oh. What did you just launch? What the hell is that? Ow. Oh my god, it's just launching shit. Ow. Stop it. Thanks. Are you done? Thanks. No! My money! Aww. I just lost my money. I could have used that instead of wasting ammo. Oops. Ugh, it's all twitchy and shit. Look at this guy. His anus is on the front. Right on, dude. Have fun. And I will try. Okay, and I'm excited to come back. I got some music for you. Oh, fuck off. Oh, it's Big Blobby! Got him. But yeah, there's some music that we found that is pretty fucking funny. And I think you'll get a kick out of it. Miss you. Love you. See you soon. Where am I going? Oh, I did a thing. Shout out to Master Raider. He's a masturbator and a raider. How crazy is that? Okay. Stasis recharge. We're gonna do with a bench thing. So I found some nodes. Pretty sure. Found 2 of them. Okay, rig. We can get more HP. Nice. More HP is nice. And then we're gonna save. Alright. Don't turn off your Xbox 360. Pretty sure that thing doesn't turn on anymore. I don't think I ever had the red ring of death, but it just kind of stopped. But I could be wrong. Wait. Didn't I come from that way? Or is this the same exact way? Looks like it. Okay. Whoa. Hey, yay. Get out of here. It's cool how I can pick all this shit up. That's awesome. What? What's this? Do I need that? Oh, and big disc thing. Oh, cool. I knew what I was doing, and I didn't even know it. How crazy. Hearing zomzoms. It's on standby. Am I waiting? What am I waiting for? Am I waiting for them to show up? Oh. I was waiting for things to die. Gotcha.
Why'd you come looking for me if you knew I was dead, Isaac? Did you think I would forgive you?
Please?
You're not Nicole!
Some donkus. Some dumb bitch with blonde hair. Probably. Can I put my helmet back on? It's Tobey Maguire. It's the Spider-Man guy. Hello? Hi. Come on in, peeps. Water's fine. Water's fine.
Hey, you made it.
Hi, buddy.
Staring at me, Isaac. Through the holes in his head. Listen to me.
Stop staring at me! Stop it! Relax!
Isaac,
Sorry.
we have to get out of here.
Right.
He looked at the camera. I'm so sorry. I was looking at him. His health bar is still full. I got a feeling like...
Oh my God. That can't be. That's the Ishimura.
No way.
Used to be the pride of the CEC. It's a sad story, actually. I heard everybody on board died. Some sort of terrorist attack.
That's cool.
What? Terrorist attack? What happened aboard that ship was no terrorist attack.
What do you mean?
That's where all this started, Ellie. Everything that's happening here happened on that ship. I saw it. I was on board when it happened.
What's happening?
Where's Strauss?
Something must be rocking the track.
Where's Strauss?
Stay here. I'll take a
Okay,
look.
cool. Strauss? You good, bro? You good? You chilling? Okay. Okay. Everybody's got full health yet. What are we grunting about? Who grunted? Strauss, calm down. But that was cool. That's the Ishimura? Wait, I can't see it anymore? That's awesome. Oh wait, so that's why all this is happening anyway. They brought the Ishimura here. I thought it was demolished. There it is. What am I hearing? What am I hearing? What am I hearing? I heard something. We're gonna put this. What am I hearing? What does that sound?
Only this crew's left. Our crew is chasing us. Our dead crew is chasing us. It's just me and Ellie right now.
Damn.
We're not gonna make it. No! Get up, Caleb. It's just a few more meters. Hear them coming.
Damn it. Whoa! That scared me more than it should have. The thing was slowly crawling at me, and I freaked out. That is not my proudest moments. We're gonna go on a clip break. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go take a leak. Okay, but fuck off. Fuck out my face. Fucking bug. Squish it. Mutron, squish him. Send him to the squish realm. Oh, we also got Spiritomb. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's coming for you guys. Holy shit! Uh-oh. Yo, this guy... Oh my god, look at him! Magitoys. Kind of feel bad for this guy. All he could get was Magikarp. And he fused it with all this shit and he's going up against legendary birds. What a fucking loser. Fine, you win. $1,400 for your Magikarp dog. Hey, you big bitch! I ain't done with you yet. I got homies to pick me up. What up, bitch? Ah! What up, fucker? Bring it on! Get in the hole, get in the hole, get in the hole!
We're just going to keep moving fucking now.
Hey! Hey! Get over here! Get the fuck over here!
Oh god.
Are you mad yet? Are you mad yet? Are you mad yet? How you doing, lads?
I am vibing, chilling, doing what you do when you do how you do it when you do it. You know
Fucking me too, dude. Fucking me too.
Yeah, brother.
You know what I mean?
Let's go play with this asshole.
I almost choked. I almost fucking choked. Oh my god. Let's go play with this asshole. This fucking guy. Okay, come here, you. There you are. Did it just eat my... Ouch. Fucker. I think it just ate my boat. My boat's gone. Can I kill it?
Whoa.
Maybe we need an axe.
These are flowers. Open eye blossom?
Open eye blossoms.
That's what they're called. Ah! Oh my god, there's a ton of skelliemans. Oh shit. What
Oh, that's what it looks like! That's what it looks like! Oh, I found it!
Oh my god.
Okay.
Hold on.
Uh-oh,
There's
here.
so many things coming after me right now.
I found... What?
What? Hold on.
EMF's
Run,
going on.
Run. Run. It said it was behind me. Run. Run. Run.
Well, now I'm curious. What does it look like?
Don't be that one white person in the horror movie.
This is noteworthy tunes. Noteworthy tunes.
I repeat.
I'll go first.
Oh, fuck.
Thanks.
Right on.
I'm sorry.
I thought I could turn while I was falling. Turns out that I could not.
Oh my god. Record what just happened. We gotta go this way. Oh.
Do you think maybe, just maybe, that's why towns got blown the fuck up? That's why the legend is fucking the dragon set the town on fire. Maybe he wasn't even angry. Maybe the dragon wasn't even fucking trying to get revenge or just trying to fuck shit up. He was just driving by and accidentally crop dusted everybody. If you don't come out to play, I'm gonna straight up kill you! I'm gonna destiny bond you if you don't fucking come out! Is there a shadow somewhere that I'm supposed to be like following or something? Does the lightning like make it show itself? God, this sucks. Ooh, I don't like you. Why are you doing a handstand, dog? Stop! I fucking hate it. This is awful. Oh. Any more doing hand? What are you doing? Oh my god. Fucking nuts, dude. We caught MrsMaaam! The dragon of what up, motherfuckers? Lone land, everybody else between the boys. I would say welcome, kind of, sort of back to Helldivers. Do I ever feel like I'm being watched? I do. What a way to start! I didn't even notice he was trying to hug. Oh, that's so cute. Hello, Mr. Bear. How art thou? Now we're gonna place this. Jesus. Whoa. Holy shit, that fucking scared me. Whoa. Holy shit. Whoa. Get off my homie!
Now crawl this way, Mr. Egg. Be careful. They're a strong bunch.
Oh my god, yeah, they are. Out. Yeah!
Be careful, Mr. Egg.
Oh my god, there's so much going on!
Fucking murdered me. Damn!
Ah!
Run, Mr. Egg!
Oh my god! Holy shit!
Jesus Christ!
What is going on?
What the hell?
Got you. No!
Fuck! I was reloading.
Chaos.
Who are you?
Oh shit! Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why the fuck my mic was way down here. Okay. Okay, but yeah. Sorry, I was chit-chatting with the wife and shit. Can't get over how the room looks down there. I'm hearing more. Where's the other one? Wasn't there another one? There's the two. Who's that guy? What's this? Oh, there's a node. Yeah, what the fuck am I hearing? Must be more raptors somewhere. Stupid thing. Don't look at me. Stop looking at me. Skaploosh. They're on the other side of that wall. Panicked. Oh, what? That go through rippers? Ow. Fuck. Oh. I'm so incredibly fucked right now. So fucked. Ooh! Fucking raptors, dude. Okay. Why is my gun not firing? Oh, that's why. Okay. They're in the goddamn walls. Fuck! Whoa! God damn it! What the fuck? Get off of me! Really? Where's the other one? Fuck, I'm out of health. Okay. Ah. Can I just hold forward? Can I just get to where I need to go? Of course, there's that guy right there too. Fuck. Okay. Okay, sorry, I'm not gonna say much. I'm pretty locked in right now. Okay. Staying locked, peeps. Stay locked. Went a lot better this time. Okay. You're gonna be on some dumb shit. Okay. Fucking raptors, dude. I hate those fucking things. You're not creepy at all. Not even a little bit. Almost missed you. Wouldn't have noticed you if you didn't make any noise. Oof. Okay. Shop. Ammo. And meds. My inventory's full. Sell. 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 More meds. Need more meds. Okay, but this is a save station, so I think I'm gonna get off here. We're in chapter... What chapter are we in? Hold on. What chapter are we in? Chapter 9. And what's beyond this door? A whole lot of bullshit and something jahumus. Okay, but yeah, this is where we're gonna end it here. Holy shit. Whole lot just happened. But what's his name? Stock? I already forgot his fucking name. So the psycho guy's okay. Temple Run lady's fine. And I'm still going nuts. Ishimura's still there, which is why all this is happening, because they brought the fucking ship onto this ship, which was stupid. But, you know, people with power will do stupid shit. But yeah. We appreciate everybody that came out, goof, gaff, and laugh with us. Tarpon Bro. Master Raider, Master Wheeler, Paige, Squeaks. Appreciate all of you coming through Chill Chat and lurk and do what you do. The plan is to do more Dead Space tomorrow. We might even complete it. Do I want to jump into Dead Space 3 right away? Maybe. Maybe. Do I jump into Dead Space 3 or do I start doing Subnautica? Could do Subnautica. I also downloaded Power Worlds. We could do that too. I think we should do Dead Space. I think we should do Dead Space because that way we'll get that done. I also have Saints Row downloaded too. Maybe we'll take a break. Maybe we'll do some Saints Row. Maybe. We'll see. I'll figure it out. But, in the meantime, all the homies are down in the description down below if you want to check them all out. The HomieRjay, TorgyBear58, MrsMaaam, they're all down there doing things and stuff. But, it's Stay safe. Wash your hands. Wash your motherfucking ass. Get the dinky bros out. Shit's nasty. No one will see, smell, taste that shit. What the fuck? You bring two? Peace out and a whoop whoop. See y'all later.